we always in this process have to select one person out of every 10. It could be one out of every 15. But
up here, there's a nice picture on video.
Hey, listen.
See those cameras back here, the new
yeah, I got it.
so they're filming. So they stop. So they, what they want is just drag them over there, put them on, see why.
I'll tell them.
If they don't, they just don't.
I know. They right. When that person gets there, they'll play press the button.
Big backup guy. That's what that is. That's what happened. That's not nice. Let the preacher man tell you, everybody's got a place for the guy, that kind of head for me, you can
Hey Adam, let's do this. I'm going to have these guys select one person to represent their part of the festival. And I want that person to come up to the microphone. When he gets there, I'll say, push the button. And he says,
I'll help. But you said
There you do.
great, you. It's going to be a good day.
Where get this right close.
Adam, section 102 and 318, where public interest and intent adversely affects public interest. District intent. Okay, and that's over here. We looked at that earlier.
There's this here, like a
Yes, it is. Don't mark it.
Hang in there. You are now ready to start doing that.
it's going to be
Can't do it. That way, I couldn't impose a penalty if it's required.
No, we don't.
got different areas of it.
It's gonna be fun.
They're gonna be almost like, I'll get their name. I'll get a head count first thing, everybody that's in it. I'll have them raise their hand, and you can have them count real quick. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact, but that's,
I just gotta make sure that I get whoever's speaking to their name.
right.
Everybody's got to respond. My mind, because they don't pick up very well, so I've got to make sure I can hear. So everybody's got to respond.
Got it. I can do it. Hey guys,
Go right ahead.
on this first item, we have to have a motion. It can be approved,
He said he get his allow one person to speak. We discussed this. I'm thinking
our motion should be competent, quick, to the point. I'll help you
I looked up another second this thing in house and based on
Oh yeah. You got, at the most, you'll have two individuals. Yeah. You'll have one individual.
Have you discussed it?
Now, we are going to ask questions after the applicant, because that is really our audience to get most of their questions answered. And I'm going to stop everything else. We've got to listen to both. Meaning is not all of your questions are about to be give the floor to those here. Then we ask questions like, what are your hours of operation? Who is your non-profit sponsor? Do you own the house? How do you intend to keep medical services? Oh, I know. But don't be afraid to jump in with your questions. And remember, I'm going to tell everybody here there's no rules to emotion in this meeting. We're going to stick strictly to this ordinance. So our questions need to do that We don't need to say, would your mama approve?
Hey, Mike, we're gonna lower our gas tax?
Yes, sir, absolutely. You know, I always put in the way.
Rent chicken out of them? Well, they called a special session for the hoodoo.
I wasn't there, did you?
I mean, we gotta get them back paid on that.
I have one special session now.
Yeah. Like we get every time we can see it, they would be up here like actually better do that.
please.
Get ready to
I
start.
have your attention, please. Thank you. We have a quorum, and we'll now begin this meeting of Rainbow City Planning and Zoning Commission. Sherry, could you call the roll, please?
Wes Ellis.
Here.
Mayor Joe Taylor.
Here.
Betty Boyd.
Here.
Clark Hopper.
Here.
Adam Swan.
Here.
Brian Hall.
Here.
Clark Thompson.
Here.
Ron Purcell.
Here.
Brett Boggs.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming today. It's important for us to hear from you, and everything we do is about you and this ordinance, and that is all. So I've been asked to remind you to vote if you haven't already. You're right here 50 feet from the voting booth, and that'll show your voice also. So if you haven't voted when you get through this meeting, please do so. We've all been given a copy of the minutes of our last meeting and the opportunity to review it. If there's a motion now to accept these minutes, I'll take it now.
I'll make a motion that we accept those minutes.
I second it.
Motion made and seconded. Sherry,
Yes, sir.
any question about the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you, Sherry. Great job.
Thank you.
On our agenda today, we have several items. The first one is an application for a group home on Cove Creek Road. I'm going to take that item on the agenda first, and I'll tell you about the process. It's very simple, straightforward, and clean. And when we get through with that, our board will have made some sort of motion. And after that's over, then you can all go home, go vote, go get back to your families, and you won't have to stay here for the rest of it. You are welcome to stay.
I think everybody should stay for the rest.
See, I told you we like you. But we're approving construction documents after this, but you are more than welcome to stay. Now, for this application for a group home, we have a very clean, very good process. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to identify the applicant and the owner of the property, and we're going to give him or her, one person, 5 minutes to lay out the reason, the purpose, and what to expect from this operation. Then our board is going to ask him questions. Now, when we start asking questions, I'll ask you, please listen carefully, because most, if not all, of your questions are going to be answered when we start asking questions. Be a great time for you to do what you came here to do. Now, you will also have 5 minutes to present your case against this facility, this operation in your neighborhood. I ask one thing. I would like for you to pick out the one person among you that knows the most about it, has talked it up, been around, talked to everybody, been on Facebook, knows everything about it. And I will give that person 5 minutes. Now, you can add to his question if you need to interrupt him or her. Now, if you have to have 2 people, I'll gladly let you do it, but it is so easy for you to ask all your questions in 5 minutes. That's going to get a lot of your questions answered also. Now, at the end of your question session, then the applicant will be allowed to spend 5 minutes answering those questions. He or she's going to have to be listening real sharply, but he or she will have an opportunity to address. Again, 5 minutes. We've got 3 5-minute periods and 1 question session from the board. And ladies and gentlemen, that is all. We're going to get this out in the open, identified, reviewed, and over with. So our decision will be made. Now, before we get along too far, you should know, if this decision from the board, by motion voted by the board, is unsuitable to you or a group of you, you can ask for a spot on the city council agenda and have it reviewed by the council. Everybody understand that? I don't want you to think that you're being pushed around, but I have to tell you, with this process, you're going to know everything that you could need to know, I believe. If there's something that you strongly disagree with, ask for a spot on the council. We have a councilman here on our board, and you have 30 days to do that, to have it reviewed again. But I got to tell you, here's the thing about that. Our job is this ordinance. That's all it is. We're not emotional about anything. We want to do what's right within this ordinance. It is an outstanding ordinance and covers everything you could imagine. And so the council normally listens to what we say. And we're thankful for that. Do we have a representative for the group home in Cove Creek? If you're here, would you come forward, please? Now, while we're speaking, we're being filmed today, and so I would ask you to be respectful of the speaker. And each time somebody speaks, it'll be done at this microphone for you guys. State your name, please.
My name is Nina Akubue.
Can you spell that last name?
It's Akubue.
Got that?
Yes, sir.
Got it. Are you the title holder to this property?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long have you been there?
5 years.
Okay. And so you are making application for a group home, is that correct?
That's very correct.
I'll give you 5 minutes if you can tell us everything that you think you need to tell us.
Okay. I guess my time starts now. Hello, everybody. My name is Nina Akubue. I am a registered nurse, and I currently work with UAB. And I also have dealings with RMC in Anniston and also Riverview. So first of all, the group term is, the group name is Group Home, but basically the idea behind this is a residential facility for children that need medical care, but they cannot go to their homes or go to the location where they are coming from, and they have been either discharged from the hospital or they need to be somewhere where they have to be cared for in a short period of time before they move to where it's considered home. Because of some of the medical conditions that is going on with them, they are not fit to be in their homes or in foster care or in the hospital. The hospital might have discharged those children. When I say children, I'm looking at ages 0 to 13. They have discharged them, but there's nowhere for them to go. So this is the gap between the hospital or the unsafe medical environment and their next step of life. So I want to use this opportunity to apologize to my neighbors. If you feel this is coming as a surprise, I didn't get a chance to talk to you all, but we're here now, and no matter the outcome, we're still great neighbors, and we still relate how we've been relating in the past 5 years. So back to what I'm saying, I'm trying to create, there's a need, most of us don't know this, but there's an existing need, and the resources to cater for those needs is very small. It's a very small percentage, and you need to see that these kids need help. Where they're staying with their medical condition is not conducive. They have been in the hospital over 1 month after being discharged, but they have to be there because there's nowhere else for them to go. So we are here to provide other resources for these kids so that they can still feel like humans, so that they can still interact with other kids, so that they can still see the sun, simple things like going to the park, or even maybe going to school, or getting a ride just to go to Publix. We might see it as simple things, but I strongly believe that they need all of those activities to be able to heal properly and to be able to be responsible citizens, not being locked up in a hospital for 120 days because they do not have where else to go, or just still being in an unsafe environment. All right, so this is going to be new if approved. So look at it this way. I have 3 kids, age 9 to 13, and I am also exposing my kids to this situation. So I wouldn't want any harm to be around my kids. So, we intend to put measures in place to ensure that the kids that we're accepting into our home is suitable enough. Their family or their guardians is going to respect the rules and the regulations of our home, our community, our neighborhood, for them to be able to come into our living environment. I'm not going to expose my kids to dangers, and I'm also not going to expose my neighbors to dangers. I'll take questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So board, it's time for us to ask questions. I have a couple right off the bat. These children, are they going to stay overnight?
Yes, sir. They will be living there until they are suitable. They are fit to move to their next destination, either back to their homes or back to their foster parenting, or just back to where they're going to be living full-time.
When they arrive, they'll be there 7 days a week, 24 hours
Yes,
a day? Sir. What is the type of full-time management that you will have in this building?
Okay. When you say full-time management, like I introduced myself, I'm a registered nurse, so I am going to be the primary caregiver. And if by choice I need to get just to mention, my husband is also living in the house. So it is myself, my husband, and my 3 kids, aged 9 to 13. So it is, for now, it is the responsibility of myself and my husband to care for these kids. Then, as time progresses, because it's also, we'll be able to employ hands to help.
You will both be registered full-time managers?
Yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with Department of Human Resource licensing?
I have gone there to make inquiries. It's still very vague, the response I got, but one of the things I knew I was supposed to do first, that I felt was the right thing to do, to also know if it was the right zoning, because I was reading a lot about it. So I need to know if the building is zoned to have that, then every other step follows. So I am not jumping from, starting from Z and coming back to A. I'm starting from A. The proper thing to do is the building license to have this kind of establishment.
So is it true to say that you need to know whether or not you can get approval through the ordinance before you would go for a license?
Yes, sir.
Because if you don't get approved by the ordinance in the neighborhood, you don't need a license.
No, sir.
So that makes this part of it a little bit exploratory.
You can say that, yes, sir.
Okay, okay, good. How long will most of these kids stay?
To be honest, I cannot tell you a certain time, but we're looking at between 3 days to 3 months for each child.
Depends on their condition.
Depending on their condition, depending on their medical condition, because basically it's kids that have medical situations.
Will, as managers, will you or your husband or both be there 24 hours a day?
Yes.
Through the night?
Yes.
Okay. How do you intend to get them to the hospital or to their doctor visit?
Okay, so we have vehicles, and for those kids, some of those kids have, depending on their need, they have ambulances, or they have things that already
in
They
place?
have medical vehicles to help with those transportation,
Okay.
depending on their need. But if it's the need that it is just a ride that we'll be able to handle, then we'll take the kids, put the appointment in such a way that there's one adult or one caregiver in the house for the child, and, you know, there's other person taking the child for the medical trip.
Okay. Now, you know that in order to get a permit to occupy, you have to have that Department of Human Resource license
Yes, sir?
in your name and, in this case, in your husband's name.
Yes, sir?
For the group here, I've seen it. It's very detailed. It's very difficult to obtain and requires reviews. Most of the time after you're established, it's an annual review, but they have reporting. I believe it's monthly for your performance, and that license has to be renewed at least every year. Now, that's not easy to do, and it's not easy to maintain. And the applicant is aware, yes?
I'm aware, sir.
Okay. Board, what are your questions?
I got a question. What I want to know is what type of critical care is what this sounds like, that you're going to supply to children that are ill, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how many people will be on your staff? Because if these children are critically cared children, if you've got to go work at UAB or where are these other jobs you got, what does your husband do for a living?
My husband currently works at home. He's an IT professional. He currently in UAB having his master's degree to be graduating in December. And let me just answer your question. So the idea is when I start with these, some of this other job will have to be over, pending. And my job with UAB is full-time, but it's a bailiff position, and I work night, meaning I get to work only on the weekends, and it's 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, and it's in the night. So that means I'm available Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, full-time. Then, the other time, my husband takes over, or the caregiver that we employ takes over.
Because my concern is going to be is if you are at work at UAB and something's medically happened to this child, or one of the children, or whatever, what's going to be the fastest response time? Is it going to be our medics, our fire department medics, or are you going to have somebody there on staff that can handle a medical issue?
Well, the truth of the matter is going to be called 911. I currently work in the hospital, and when we have a situation that is beyond our department, we call for rapid. We call it code blue. We call for help.
Sure.
So, even in that situation, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to be playing God where I'm not supposed to. If I need help, I'm going to ask for help.
Well, I'm just talking about while you're at work.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, because even if I'm there in the house and there's a situation arising that I'm not able to take care of, I'm going to call 911, making sure that, we're doing what we can pending on when we get help. So likewise, whoever that is going to be contributing and taking care of the care for the kids will be trained in first aid in emergencies, so that, when that arises, they should be able to handle it until we get better care for that situation.
And when you're at the hospital, your husband will be there at this group home
Yes, sir.
every time?
Yes, because, that's our current living situation.
It would have to be for DHR.
Yes.
Now, I got one more question.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's go to this scenario.
Okay.
Okay. You're going to have children here, and you're going to have Schedule I narcotics, either for pain, fentanyl, things like that. Is this going to be something you keep on site, or is it going to be ordered as needed?
Okay. If it's a pain medication that is not PRN, that is not as needed, if it's scheduled, that means it has to be on site. That's just the truth of the matter. Because if it's 3 times a day, twice a day, we're not going to be running to CVS every 6 hours to get the pain medication. But with pain medication, pain management, it's a different process, it's a different approval. If I go through that approval and I'm fit enough to be able to handle it, then I'll handle it and put safety in place, to take care of that.
Sure.
And
Well, I think that's my concern, because if we got Schedule I narcotics, we got stuff that people gonna break into your house when you ain't looking, fentanyl or whatever, then these folks have got kids, grandkids, and things like that. That's my concern.
okay.
Also, in any case where a conditional use is in place inside a neighborhood or inside any part of the city, you're subject to nuisances such as light, smoke, sound, music, vibration that affects other people around. Now, in Alabama, if you have bright lights around your house and it's shining in someone's home, that's not just a nuisance, it's trespass. And it is treated as trespass. And you'll go to court. The same thing if your smoke from your chimney or your fire pit invades someone else's home and causes them, it's not a happy campfire, it's trespass. And so, are you gonna have cases of noise, light?
I want to say I believe no, because the situation is still going to be almost the same. Let's paint the scenario like I want to be a foster mom and have 3 foster kids in my home. If there's noise, it's the noise of kids' laughter and playing outside of the neighborhood, which we've always been doing, riding bicycle, kicking the ball, running around with the dog. I don't think it's going to be more than that, because we're not dealing with adult or mental adult or, the elderly. We're dealing with kids that have medical needs.
Got it.
So,
Okay,
I got
board,
one.
any other questions?
One more. I want to make sure we got clarification on these children's age, because I know you said you had children, what was it, 3, 9, and 15?
9, 11, and 13.
I'm sorry, 9, 11, 15. So what's going to be the ages of these children that come into this if it passes?
So, from the beginning, I said we're looking at 0 to 13.
15, I thought that's what I just want clarification.
Okay. Now,
I have a couple
Yes, sir.
questions. Yeah, so you currently live in the home right now?
Yes.
Correct, and you will be living there, you and your whole family will be living there?
Yes, sir.
when that, so how many bedrooms are in the home?
4 bedrooms.
4 bedrooms.
One is almost like 2 because it's very big.
Okay, and how many, kids can you imagine being in the home at one time?
We're looking at 3. That's the space we have for 3 children.
3 children, okay, all right. And what about their parents? Will their parents be?
The kids' parents?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so some of those kids from research is either adoptive or, they have issues with DHR or, they don't even have guidance where to go from when they're out of that situation. Okay, so before they leave the hospital, they come to us, and depending on when they are being placed to a foster care or temporary home, this is where they're calling home, and we are looking at giving them care, treating them like family.
okay, anybody else? I'd like for all of you to take 1 minute to select one person to ask questions of her. Identify that person. You decide. Gotta be somebody that always talks. Who is it? Can be anybody.
Do I leave?
Yeah. Go
All right, we're good. Okay. Everybody listen. Sir, if you would speak loudly into that microphone. Good, get it close to you. We want to hear you. State your full name, please.
My name is Hal Murphy.
Hal Murphy.
I live
And
at
you're-
201 Windsor Lane, which is about 150 yards from this location.
That address again,
201 Windsor Lane.
okay?
201 Windsor Lane.
Hold it, folks, that's going upstairs to the video, it's not.
I live at 201 Windsor Lane.
That's what we need.
I can do that.
That's what we need. All right, now remember, you got 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
If there's something really pertinent and absolutely necessary, you can interrupt your first name?
Hal.
Hal, and ask him to ask it, okay? Good.
This will not take too terribly long, but as a member and chairman of the zoning board of Rainbow City, I have some zoning ordinance questions that I would like for you to look into. I have researched the zoning regulations this afternoon, and before I do that, there's not a single person here that would not feel bad for these students, for these young students or these young children who need that support. We are not heartless. We understand that there's a need and they are suffering and they need help. We just don't think it needs to be in our neighborhood. But we are zoned R1, which is single-family dwelling. Unless the residents of the group home are all of the same family, would this not be considered multifamily and in violation of the single-family requirement?
All right. R1 is the only place where conditional use is allowed
Right.
for a group home. And that's because that's where that's where homes are. You don't want to be in the middle of a light manufacturing area. And so it is still a group subject to density of occupancy in the house for safety. They may or may not be, any of them, related, but the group is in a home. Now, multifamily means individual units that are connected together by a firewall, share the same roof.
Which would be R3, not R1.
That's correct.
Yes.
And that would be R3 multifamily. That means in a structure under one roof, you have several, call it what you want to, homes, apartments, duplexes, under the same roof. This is one roof, one occupancy. That's why it's in R1.
Okay. Would this be considered a sober living home?
SOBER?
That is in the regulations, that if it is, there are certain things they have to meet. I'll read those. Rainbow City zoning regulations, section 40, 283C, and the zoning ordinance of 2019. I've got 5 minutes, so I gotta hurry, right?
Say it. Say that section again.
Section 40-283C, adopted in 6/24/2019, states that the group care residents must be sponsored by a public or nonprofit organization. How does this apply to this application?
It is required.
Is it sponsored by a nonprofit or public organization?
Not currently. This
So, okay.
this is the first step, but I think she mentioned that would be her next step is going.
So the answer is no, right. Okay, so would the owner be living in the home? We do know that. So this would be considered a home occupation as listed in Rainbow City's zoning regulations, section 40-283D, and section 40-287A, C1, C2, C5, D2, and D4. That says no home occupation shall be allowed in multifamily dwelling. A home occupation shall be operated only by the members of the family residing in the dwelling, and the home occupation shall not occupy more than 30% of the total dwelling unit. They shall not generate more than 2 trips per day in or out of any R1 district. And I think her saying with the 911 calls, that would be in violation of that ordinance. So does Rainbow City also have any zoning regulations that prevent a drug rehab home from operating in a R1 zone? And if not, how do we petition the city to adopt these regulations? And finally, will these students be homeschooled? Are they wards of DHR? Will they attend local public schools? What can we expect from how they will affect our neighborhood, our schools, and our community? It's our understanding that these will be wards of the state or appointed by a court sent to this location. So does that mean DHR is involved?
If you're gonna have a group home, DHR does.
Does, yes, they will
Have
have.
to
So
be
then will
involved.
they be homeschooled or will they go into John Jones?
Ma'am?
So at this point, we'll be encouraging homeschooling because of their medical situation, to prevent things like further injury, to prevent infection and et cetera. So they'll be homeschooled. But they'll be able to use the park. The idea is, take them to the park, once in a while to play, see the sun.
That's all that I have, so I will yield my remaining time to anyone else who has something to say. But the zoning ordinances are pretty cut and dried when this is,
I have a question. Why is this location more desirable than the other locations in Rainbow City that's not in the middle of a R1 neighborhood?
Because this is currently my home. That's where I live.
I understand that, but there's plenty of homes that are run by people who don't live in that home.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Huh?
I don't get your question.
Do you have previous experience in running a group home?
No, sir.
Does your husband have previous experience in running a group home?
No, sir. But what I know is what we have is we have empathy, we have done research, and it is something in our past that we decided to do.
With all your research, does it say it's better to put it in the middle of a residential neighborhood?
Yes, sir.
Single-family neighborhood?
Yes, sir.
What research is that?
Because you want the kids to feel like kids. You want them to associate.
Pardon me, I'm sorry, time is up, we wanna be fair.
To answer that, what Al asked.
Go ahead and finish that sentence.
You just want them to live like family. You want them to live like kids, not as if they're being isolated. So that's the idea.
So you'll have 8 people in a single-family residence.
Yes, sir.
Now, for the gentleman that represented the group, give me 1 second. You were looking in agricultural zoning, sir?
no,
How?
it's residential zoning.
Section 40 is agricultural.
It was farther down, it is residential.
Then it would not be in
That
section.
was online. It was referring to R1 single-family dwelling. That wouldn't be agricultural.
Section 50 is single family.
Okay, so perhaps I misspoke, it's 50 and not 40.
All right?
Yes. Mr. Murphy asked if these group homes is in violation of our code, and I think we need to answer that question specifically.
Okay. One of the conditional uses allowed in R1 is group homes.
Section 102.
And it is in section 102, if you want to jot that down. I'll read it for you. Because there is part, it won't take me but a minute.
I got it right here, Wes. You want me to read it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Section 102, group care residence. A, the use shall be conducted within a single-family residence. B, the building shall maintain the exterior appearance of a single-family residence with no separate outside entrances to individual bedrooms. And C, the group care residence must be sponsored by a public or nonprofit organization, which is what we're talking about, Mr. Murphy. State licensing requirements shall be met.
Now, it's another place where it is addressed. I haven't forgotten you, ma'am. But In section 318 of the ordinance, conditional use procedures. The Plan Commission shall review the plot of land and use proposal compliance with this ordinance and other applicable codes and ordinances. If deemed in compliance, the Planning Commission may still deny any proposal if it concludes, based upon the information submitted at the hearing, that the proposal will adversely affect the public interest and the intent of this ordinance as contained in the purpose and consideration of this ordinance and the district intent where the proposal would be carried out. Everybody understand that? Ma'am, you had a question.
I did. Go ahead. Okay, so I live on Cove Creek Road, new, moved in May, worked at DHR for 17 years. She used a lot of terminology such as, for now. Do you plan on moving and leaving that as a group home for someone else to run in your absence at some point in the future?
Oh, no, that's not the plan.
I'm sorry?
No, that's not the plan.
That's not the plan. Okay, you said it like 3 different times of for now and to start, and so there was a lot of open-ended what-ifs in the future. And then my other question was, what kind of security are we going to have in place as a former DHR employee for many years of the parents coming after their children, whether there's a law in place or a piece of paper in place that says that they're having no contact? That's going to bring in a lot of crime, a lot of what I would say upset parents coming after their children, trying to see their children. This happens on a daily basis. Why are we bringing that into our neighborhood, a child-safe neighborhood? The first one that my daughter has felt safe playing in for now. And I try not to get emotional. But what security are you going to have in place to prevent my child from being exposed to unsavory characters coming in on the regular, attempting to see their children?
Okay, so let me answer this question. Why do we want to assume first that the parents that are coming or the guardians that are coming to see the kids are, criminal-minded?
They lost custody of their children.
Sorry?
Order.
No.
They've lost custody of their children, so there's an issue, whether it be drugs, parenting, abuse, et cetera, crime, you name it. I've lived it.
All right, so to start with, when I started with me having my kids in the home, and I will not, for any reason.
All right, I'm sorry, ma'am, time out.
All right.
Sorry.
Did your question get answered?
That was one of my questions, but I have several.
All right. Now, ma'am, our time is up.
You said 2 people can have 5 minutes. Can she have the other?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes?
Okay,
Yeah, you did
So
got
sorry.
caught.
Get it on our record, thank you.
absolutely. Okay, hello, I am Shelby Bernard. I live at 201 Seville Lane. I do have some questions. For instance, let's just put a scenario out there that you have 3 children already. We have 2 children, so I do know that schedules with our own children sometimes take more than one parent. If you are working at night and your husband has something come up with your own children, what staff members or who is going to take care of the children who are already in there?
If you want me to answer your question, you call me, you want to ask all your questions.
I can go ahead and ask all of them if you want to. That may be better. In doing so, you are going to have to bring more staff into this home to cover some of this time frame, correct? So in doing that, are we not going to bring more traffic into our child-friendly neighborhood? That we have just had stop signs put in to try and help some of the traffic problems that we've already had, correct? In doing so, in running this facility, you've suggested that you were going to call 911 as one of your resources. Are we going to use taxpayers' dollars to resource your business that's in your home? We're going to have more traffic coming down with all of the resources of our emergency people that we're going to have use for this. And then the question of the
security.
The security, that was one of mine. Because people do try to see their kids. I have seen people who, I have family who have to work with DHR. And there are people who show up at schools and show up at preschools who try to get in to see their children. And they figure out where they're at and they cause a ruckus, and it is a safety hazard to the residents and the children who do live there already.
Shelby, if I may interrupt, I'm sorry, but we have heard your questions. We know the intent of your line of questioning, and we're ready to move on.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Ma'am, our time is up.
I don't have to answer?
Respond. Okay, go ahead.
All right, thank you. In terms of calling 911 if there's a need, in our homes, we've called 911. I've had neighbors call 911 when there's a need. I think that's why the resources is there. Then I also spoke about, the children we're going to accept. There's going to be, they will have to follow the rules and the regulations. They're going to follow the agreement that was signed. If anything in violation of that coming into the home, those kids will not be accepted into the home, because my priority is also to keep my kids safe and also respect my neighborhood. You asked question concerning traffic coming into the neighborhood. Having 1 or 2 extra employees is almost like you having visitors or having family over coming to visit almost on a regular basis. So having an extra person on the day or 2 people in the week extra in the home, I do not think that should be considered traffic. Am I missing any question you asked that I didn't respond to?
We're done with the Q&A.
Okay, we're gonna cut the time out now. And so, from the board, is everybody sufficiently informed?
Yes.
If there is a motion at this time, I would accept it.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the group home should be denied.
I'll second.
All right,
Because it's not in compliance with state and our local code and ordinances.
all right. Now, so Sherry, you got the motion and the second?
Yes, sir.
If I may add to your ordinance,
Yes.
in consideration of all federal, state, and local laws, ordinances, rules, and restrictions, it is our intention to refuse the application in accordance with Section 318B of the ordinance, based on adverse effect of public interest and the intent of this ordinance, quote unquote. And also Section 102, requirements, violation of Section 102 in operational methods. Okay? Any else we need to add to the text of the motion?
You could also add section 5B to that.
What is the content?
This ordinance shall be made with reasonable consideration, among other things, to the character of the district and its peculiar suitability for particular uses, and with a view to conserving the value of buildings and encouraging the most appropriate use of land throughout the city.
Section 5.
5B.
5B. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Are there any other changes with the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? In accordance with the ordinance, then, this application is hereby revoked, and the application can be made again after 1 year period of time if changes have been made to answer the objections that we heard today. To put it mildly, I believe it could be this might be a great idea, wrong location. You know, does that sum it up pretty well for you guys? Now, and so with that, we thank you for coming. Please remember to vote. You are free to go. You are also invited to stay if you so desire.
Yeah, I feel like they don't like Hey, we would ask that y'all kind of clear the room quickly because we're not done with our meeting yet.